And yes, speaking of the Iran war tonight, our next story takes us from the military straight into the Gulf, where one small country suddenly found itself facing a big threat from none other than the President of the United States. Oman is small, its geography is not. This teeny tiny Gulf nation has suddenly found itself at the center of one of the most dangerous diplomatic confrontations surrounding the Iran war. Well, for weeks, the Trump administration had indicated that diplomacy could still work. The message was that Iran might be close to a nuclear agreement, and Oman was supposed to plan a crucial role here. But you know why Oman? Because Oman has historically maintained channels of communication with countries that do not always talk directly to one another. In a region filled with rivalries, Oman has often positioned itself as a bridge. And during this crisis, that made the whole country extremely important. And yes, there was another reason too: the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the most strategically important shipping routes in the world. A huge amount of global energy trade passes through this region only. So when Iran, the U.S., and other regional players are locked in confrontation, Oman suddenly becomes much more than just a mediator. It becomes strategically located at the center of the crisis. But yes, diplomacy has not produced the breakthrough Washington wanted. In fact, the nuclear deal remains elusive. The standoff continues, and President Trump's frustration has now reportedly spilled over into threats against Oman itself. And that is an extraordinary escalation. Why? Because if the US were to attack a country that was being discussed as a possible diplomatic bridge, the message would be devastating. The space for diplomacy, it is now shrinking, and that has consequences far beyond Oman. The Gulf is already under a lot of pressure. Energy markets are watching, shipping companies are watching, regional governments are watching, and ordinary people are watching the prices of fuel and food rise. The biggest danger in the geopolitical crisis, that's not always the first missile. Sometimes it is what happens after the first threat. Markets react, government reposition, allies become nervous, and countries that were trying to remain neutral can suddenly be pulled into the whole conflict. Well, Oman now finds itself in precisely that uncomfortable position. A country that was being discussed as a part of diplomatic solution is suddenly facing the possibility of becoming part of a military confrontation. And yes, that brings us to another battlefield, one that does not involve missiles or soldiers at all. This time, the fight is happening inside a courtroom. And you know who the opponent is? One of the biggest technology companies on the planet Earth.